Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're having our Trump coffee as usual, and we're getting ourselves in the right mind frame. I tell you, this thing's dragging on for me because my body's not wanting to do it and my mind wants to do it. So it's also overwhelming. There's so many lines and hoses and sensors and stuff like that it's almost intimidating, if that's the way you want to look at it. But I'd love to delete a lot of stuff in here, but I found something today. I just had to show you guys how this thing was when I was fumbling around over in there to find out what each thing was going to, and getting pictures and stuff like that. And so I started moving something, and I'll show you what I found. If you guys remember the tube that comes from this exhaust up over the valve cover, and it came over to right here behind the AC pump, and it was sort of bent, and somebody had cut it and crimped it with a pair of pliers or something. Alright, well, that was laying there. Then I go and find this hole because I couldn't figure out where this was going. Now, would you like to know how I thought or never figured that being right? Here's why. They had this turned around. Of course, I've reshaped it to fit where it's supposed to go, but it was sticking down in there like that right there. The PVC was in that, just laying there. So I went and turned that back around and put that back where it was supposed to be. I'm surprised this thing even ran. I might get lucky, man, because if I put everything right the way it's supposed to be, or equally as good, I'm thinking about just plugging this and plugging the exhaust one and be done with it. I did find the other unit that goes down in here, and if I can find my drop light real fast, which is right here behind me. There's a switch. I need a shop that's got more light. There's a switch that goes in that hole right there with a rubber around it and seals it and bolts down with these two bolts that appear to be loose. I never noticed that till just now. Every time I touch this, I find something wrong. That's not even attached. Hell, this thing probably had one hell of a vacuum leak. Or I think the fucking threads are, oh, come on, man. Look at that. I just pulled that out. First time that's happened. Wonder if the other one's the same way. Nope, it's tight. This one, I bet you, is stripped out. And it does look like it has, yep, it's stripped, guys. Look at all them aluminum strips on that thread. So that's going to have to be tapped out a bigger size and go to a bigger thread and tap it for a different thread. So that's how we're going to fix that. But right now I'm going to use it as a hole plugger. I'd actually like to have a hole plugger for that and a hole plugger for that. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find something to go in there. Sometimes you get a hose that's got a fitting on it. It's got a cap rubber thing on it that might fit right down in that hole. But then we got a PVC here and that I think goes to the breather. So then I seen that service port 1 psi maximum, regulated pressure only. So I don't even know where that goes. Oh, it goes to that, but I don't know what it goes to. At first I seen had this elbow and it had a, it looks like contact in there. I thought it was a damn coil wire, to be honest with you. And then I scrolled back and seen that, and I said, well, what's a valve doing in a spark plug wire? And then I realized that that's not what this is. So I don't know what it has to do with, I don't know what EVAP means. I'm not quite understanding all that stuff, but if anybody knows where that goes, let me know. There's a bracket here that makes me wonder what the hell it's for. I know damn well that didn't go to the back of this post because it was bent like that. Because the alternator was gone and this was actually straight. And it lined up right where the thread was for this, the hot wire. I know damn well that ain't right. So the body on the one that originally came on this motor was probably shaped a little different. This may have been on the bottom, and then this mounted to the back of the alternator, which is probably what happened. So there is a thread hole, I think, in the back of those some places. Just depends on what vehicle you got. This part and this part, two different pieces. They mix and match. So if I could find the right alternator, even if it's junk or burnt up or whatever, I could take and rob the body off of it and put the guts out of this one into that one. And it's the same guts, just a different shape. At least that's been my observation. So I got underneath of it and I'll show you what I found. If I can get my drop light over there, so give me a minute. Guys, I'm getting too old for this shit. Alright guys, this is what I got. I found all that up on the frame. And I just took my hand and brushed it all out, all around all the frame. There was some above the transfer case, some over in that area. And then there was some over on the other side near the starter. Alright, so then if I get off of the cord, everything under here looks pretty good except that bracket up there. That bracket right there. That needs to be replaced with, let's go to the other side, with that one. So that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what this one looks like. So what that is going to be is a back problem before I'm done. Lord have mercy. So that's, I'm not too awful worried about right yet. I'll get you guys pointing up there. I'm not too concerned about that because it's 4 inches. If you look on the other side, it's 4 inches from the rubber pad and the bumper on the rear end. So first of all, I'm never going to load this thing to where it even squats a little bit. Most I'll ever squat this thing is 1/2 inch. So maybe an inch, I don't know. Refrigerator and a stove would do that. But I'm never going to be even getting close to that. In fact, I could probably take and cut both of them off there and I'd be fine. So, anyway, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to replace the other one. But that's later on down the road. Right now, my main focus is this. But I keep finding problems. I just found one with you guys. That I didn't know was an issue. So now I know I have to thread a hole. I hope to God I don't get deeper and find more problems. Problems are expensive, and I can't get this freaking wire to work with me. Dumbass. What a dumbass light. All up in my way. But for the most part, we know what we're going to do with the transmission lines. These are going to be put into the radiator with a hose going from here to the radiator and here to the radiator. And we're going to try that and see if it works. It should work. Of course, I'll take my cutter and pipe cutter and cut that around and make a nice round cut that's chamfered, and use 2 clamps. I can go all the way down to here and put a clamp here and a clamp here. Same thing with this one. Hell, it could probably get it to go around that turn if you push it on there hard enough. If you can get it around that turn. You really want to stay on the straight, but you ain't got a whole lot of options here. If it was me, I'm probably going to try to take it down to about right here. That way I can put 1 clamp here, 1 clamp here. Or I could just cut that off right there and do that the same way this one is. In fact, that would probably work just fine. I can bend them to where they run right together with each other, right there. So that's what I'll do. One will just be a longer hose. That way, if I ever have to take it off, I'll know which one goes to which. I don't know if they cut that too short that it can't be stretched to work. I'm hoping. But I do have a couple different radiators, but I'm looking at this one thinking this one might be a little bit bigger than the one I got. I don't know. Right here's one that I don't know which one. I think this one's the one for the top of the motor. Here's that tube that they had in here. I got it trapped in there. There's that tube, and that's what they had. That was at the top side of the motor. That's what they had, and it wasn't even squished hard enough. That's where I just twisted it, trying to break it off, and because I knew I was going to remove it. But I'm wondering if that's going to affect the way it runs, but we'll see. I've got I thought I had another one. Let's see. That's the only hose on this side. I do have another hose somewhere. Oh, right here it is. One of those. I got to go all the way around. Now, I believe these are going to be too small. So that's going to have to be able to stretch to my radiator. Because ain't neither one of these, neither end is ever going to fit on that. That's like 2 inch. Yeah, you ain't stretching that on there. And that ain't going to get in there. So, well, all I can do is hope that That ain't a cut, is it? Yeah, it's got a freaking cut in it. It's gonna make me replace that damn thing. Let's see. I don't feel it inside, but I can feel how thin it is because you can feel the groove inside of it. So yeah, it's been cut. They started cutting there, didn't go all the way through, and then decided to cut it there. Have I told you lately how I hate thieves? I just don't like them. They are a drain on the economy. They're a drain on life. You know, that wind's going to tear my door up. Wow. It's been pretty nice today. I guess we just call this a hangout video. Hang out with the S10. But I've got a long way to go, man. Not to mention, where am I going to put all these parts as I take them off? I'm running out of places to put stuff. I gotta be able to get around in my shop somehow. This shop ain't wide enough. But just gonna have to address these problems one at a time. So once I get my gasket kits here, then I know I have it. Because I don't want to take it apart until I know that I have it. Because it might get halfway here like my video card did and turn around and go back to the sender. So I want to make sure it's here before I tear into that. But to be quite honest with you, I don't believe it needs a head gasket set. I believe that after seeing everything that's wrong with this truck, I'm surprised it even ran at all. I mean, things were just took off, left off, and it was obvious that that PCV valve was in that hole, just laying there, quite a while, because there was a lot of crusty white dust laying all around it. And that was just a bad situation there altogether. Now I find I got a frickin' thread a bolt and change the size of it, so it's probably going to be standard. So I'll probably put a 5/16 in it. So that means that if that ever comes apart, somebody's going to have to remember that that goes in only one hole. So hopefully I'm the last owner this thing ever sees. Well, I probably won't be. My son will probably be the last owner of this. So got to do it right, because then you're handing it to your children when you're dead. You don't want to die and then them die shortly after you because they drove in a truck you built. I have a little more higher standards than that. But anyway, if you guys see something that I might have missed, let me know in the comments. The motor mounts look like they're in pretty decent shape. Power steering pump needs a lot of cleaning, guys. And I was pointing at me while I was telling you all this stuff. So we're probably not going to get all that out of there, but we're going to try to get as close as we can, because I don't really want to take out anything and disturb any of this stuff. Because when you start disturbing stuff like that, you break stuff. Bolts break, the heads round off, you know. So if you don't have to take it off, it's best to I could just take and push this out of there. You know, just clean all that out of there. Take a little wire brush down in there, wire brush it. I'll have to take that hose out. But I really don't want to disturb this. And if these get paint on them, it don't matter. I just want to get some paint on it. I would like to have that looking shiny, but I hate disturbing stuff like that, man. Sometimes you have to, though, depending on how good I can make it look. I might put some wire loom cover like this stuff on it, polish that up with a steel wool, get it nice and pretty, and put some of this on top of that, then spray paint that, and then take that back off. That'll work. And that's laying down against it, so it needs to be brought up a little bit so it's not hitting it and rubbing a hole in it. But who knows what's here that can't be up any higher, so you got to leave it where it's at. But we've decided to use the small cooler, and we're going to take the radiator, the AC radiator, clear out, so it won't even have that in it no more. We're not going to use it. I just don't see the point. There's no use having weight there to weigh you down. I don't know how powerful that truck is, but I'm sure it matters. But yeah, I'm gonna take them out, be done with it. Now this one here is out of the other truck. Now this is the other problem I have. This radiator support is not going to work. And again, it's my freaking fault because I didn't look at it. I'm assuming that because the body style is exactly the same, I'm assuming that everything, all the parts are the same. Wrong. GMC and Chevrolet changed their grill. One of the two, probably GMC. I don't know, GMC is Chevrolet. Or Chevrolet is GM. But anyway, General Motors. And there's slight differences between the GMC and the Chevrolet, and this is what I'm finding out. See the holes? See how it looks like it might be a lopsided pear? You see that? This one is mine. Do you see a lopsided pear? No. You also see slots that are very important for your headlights because that's what holds your headlights. So I got to use this one because I can't find another one, and this is the stuff that I got to fix, and I'm not sure how I want to go about that. I got to work with what I got. You know, look how thin that is. You can't weld that stuff. So you have to get to a place where you can weld. And I'm just kind of lucky that there's still a lot of meat on the end here. I mean, it's still thin, but there's still a good bit to where if you don't weld on it too hard, you won't weld through it, depending on what your welder's set at. But what I was thinking about doing was taking and cutting this part here all the way down across here and cut across here out of that one, bring it over here and set it on top of this with some drilled holes in it and spot weld that thing to this. So that would strengthen it. This would all still be there, but I'd have to do a bunch of straightening here and getting that straight, because I can take and bend that with my finger. It's possible that I can make a piece from here. I'm pointing over here. makes something, well, it's going to have to go all the way to here. So I'm going to have to probably shape a piece of metal to go in here. They're so different. I can't believe how different they are. I mean, the body, exactly the same fenders, the exact same everything. Same, everything but the grill and the headlights. They're totally different. So, I already found out what these inner fenders cost. Those are $135 a piece, man. That's crazy. So, I'm going to have to work with what I got. What I'm hoping that I can do is, this one here is one of the new ones that I got. And it's got a lot of rust right here. You see me flaking that off of there? And it's deep. See how deep that is? If I pull all that out there, there's going to be a hole there. So if I'm pushing on the other side, see, you can see the movement. It's broke loose right here, and that's all big rusty area right there. So this I could probably fix by, maybe, I'm hoping it'll work, take and cut all this out, and then take one of these washers out of the fender that I'm not going to use, off of that one, take that big washer off of it and put it on this side. So then it would have, because this one's got a washer on the inside also. So we could take that one off of that one and put it on top here. It should be the same exact shape as the one that's underneath. It's the same contour in the same spot. So it should fit right over top of this. And you could take and put you some rivets and rivet it in to the other plate on the other side. And you'd probably want to try to fill that in with some kind of a epoxy or something when you go to put this down on here. Once you got it to where it rests nice and smooth around this outer edge, then you could take that epoxy and just fill all that in, and when you squeeze it all together, it'll fill all that in all the way around, and you'll have a nice solid, because this is all solid. So then the only thing I'd have to worry about is, you know, stuff like that right there, but that's really not that big a deal because it's not anywhere but in that area. I mean, I'm pulling it out as I'm going, but we'll see if I can put a band on this. It's possible I could take and just put a new band on this thing, pop rivet a band on it and re-drill the holes. Put it on the inside down here. We'll just hide that hole. How about that? Then we got one right there, which I'm not real fond of, so we probably will make a little piece of aluminum strip just as wide as this is, and take and put it on the inside here, and it'll sandwich together, and we'll pop rivet it to this so that it permanently stays aligned with those holes. And I can decide to paint it black, which would probably be what I do, paint it black. Don't want aluminum trim underneath your wheel. Maybe on the outer edge like that right there, which I'm liking that trim right there. I kind of wish I would have got the older one, I would have rather had the older S10, the box type, but I've seen this and seen it as a project, and I felt like that it's not beyond my capability yet. You notice I said yet. We got people driving by, but I took on the project, so I need to be equally ready for it, whatever comes, and I'm just hoping it's going to be pretty easy on me. It's not giving me good signs, because now I have to figure out how to make 2 radiator supports into one. Man, that wind's whipping today. Yes, we got our flag waving, looking pretty rough. I'm gonna have to get on my landlord. Can't be having that. I told him, I'm not the one who's going to take care of that. You take care of it. He says, I've always taken care of it. So that's what he's going to do. So I'm just going to have to report he needs a new flag. That's probably the second one since I've been here. But still got a long way to go. And I don't think you're ever going to see that motor. I really don't believe you'll ever see that motor. The only place you're going to see that motor is right there. Everything else is so covered you can't even see the motor. Why bother painting it? Just slap a piece of black paint on it and be done with it. You can't make an engine look good like that. All them hoses and shit. I'd love to turn that into an old school motor. But I got it for gas mileage, not a souped up hot rod. But I just like to make things look good, make the valve covers look good. And I mean, I got aluminum valve covers in my truck, and I ate with the deer that month too. When I got those. Anyway, hope y'all got something out of this video. It was basically I was bored and wanted to do a video, and I seen that tube and I said, I just got to show these guys this one. You can put it on Comedy Hour if you want. But anyway, we're gonna keep chugging on it. Right now I'm waiting on parts for this generator to fix, so I can put that head back on it and get it running. But I gotta drill the head out and put a Healy coil in it for a 14mm spark plug, and then I got to make a gasket. So that's going to be interesting for me to do, and I don't know if I'm going to video it or not. Probably not, because I'm probably going to be cussing because the material's not working the way I want. I got to make a tool, a hole punch that has the taper on the inside, not the outside, so that when I go to punch it, then it'll be a nice straight hole. The opening for the cylinder and the other 2 holes, those are going to be a little more challenging. So I got to find some way of cutting that, and I'm thinking about using a Dremel tool with a little grinding wheel. So, but anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for hanging out. You guys have a good one. Later.